The Brita now. I've always been mad about it.
Or you say like you never do. Yeah, I don't like
Levi, when I lived with Levi, he would always get mad that I wouldn't refill the Brita. And then I wouldn't press I always press like 3 minutes on the microwave, but I'd always take it out early and I would never press reset. And it would drive me crazy.
never knew what time it was.
It was always like 30 seconds. So my name is Pat, good friend of Levi's, and I promise not to keep it short. So Levi called me on Wednesday, and he asked me if I'd be willing to give a speech tonight on short notice. I said, I'm really glad you called because I've been writing the speech for the last 6 months. And then I said, are there any like parameters that you'd like to set? And he was like, just aim for tastefully inappropriate. And then there was a pause, and then he said, don't tell Shonna I said that. I was like, all right, why don't I aim for humorously sentimental? So we agreed on that, and so this is my humorously sentimental love note to Levi and Shonna. And feel free, we can make it a communal love letter, so if anyone wants to interrupt or disagree or nuance or exemplify, I will bring the microphone over to you, or if you just want to shout it out or heckle at me, whatever you want. And so, first thing I want to do is ask how many people, or just to get a show of hands, how many people have lived at 338 East 15th Street in the apartment that Levi and Shonna live at? Pete, you never lived in. And does anyone, this group of people, what is known as the Key Holders Union, we actually occasionally will make demands of Levi and Shonna, or we try to, but upper level management doesn't really listen to us too much. Does anyone have their keys still? Yeah. So there are a number of people that actually have the key on their keychain and are fairly welcome to stop by and let themselves in, which is pretty amazing. They kind of put the kibosh on it after a while, but what's that?
I believe we have a key as well.
Nice, and you never even lived there. Who gave it to you? Oh wow. Question.
Is anyone paying rent?
Is anyone paying rent?
They got the key from
They got the key from Kevin Morrison, who has Joe DeVillo's key. Anyway, and how many people have actually been over to this apartment to break bread, to sleep on a couch?
I've never broken bread there.
Never broken bread. Have you ever been fed there in some of the cooking? So for those of you who haven't been there to East 15th Street, that show of hands suggests that Levi and Shonna live in this fancy, well-lit, spacious, fancy pants Manhattan apartment with a beautiful view. And this is just not the case. The first thing that you do when you walk in to 338 is your door, the front door hits their door, their bedroom door, if it's left at all ajar. And then you walk down this tunnel-like, dark tunnel-like hallway that's about 10 feet long, past 4 bicycles, and you get to the main room, and it's like a 12 by 10 room, and it functions as den, dining room, kitchen, and entertainment room, all a very, very small room. Tom Chambers could clear it on a drive to the basket. Inside joke, but so this is where everything happens. It's when they cook on the frying pan, and you're sitting on the couch watching television, you'll get splattered. If they're boiling water, your glasses will fog up. Cutting onions, you'll start to cry. And when Frida's actually pictured, if you don't know Frida, she's not here with us, but she's pictured here, and she'll come up to you with a tennis ball. And at this point in this room, when Levi's cooking, you'll have two options. Because the room is really small, but you're like, where do you want me to throw this tennis ball? So you can like throw it 2 feet, like straight back to her mouth, and she never catches it. She always fails to catch it. Or you can throw it off of like the entertainment center, the television stand, and then try to get it back down the hallway. Like, so then Frida can really let loose down the hallway. And it's filled, the apartment's filled with like all these space-saving inventions that Levi's come up with. So, all right, there's magnets like hung along the wall for storing knives. There's a folding paper towel rack that you can like fold back into the wall somehow to efficiently store paper towels. There's bungee cords stretching between, like underneath the couch stands, so that the tennis balls don't get stuck underneath the couch, so Frida doesn't just bark and bark and bark. And there's a doggy door within the door of your guys' room, so that Frida can get in and out the bedroom, so that they don't actually have to keep the door open at night, because that might mean someone comes in the front door and then bangs into the door. But despite this, right, it's the smallest, darkest, tiniest, oldest tenement apartment building, and it is really one of the most beautiful and warmest homes that so many people here keep going back to again and again and again. And I think that speaks to their relationship, but I also think it like matches Levi's character to a T, right? Levi's not, despite like the dance moves that we might see here later tonight, despite his like multicolored World Trade Center lamp that he invented, Levi is not like the flashiest guy. I would not describe him as flashy. But as many people I've spoken to, he is the most rock-solid, dependable, caring friend you can ever have. And he fills up the Brita. And presses reset on the microwave. And he's demonstrated this to me like a million times, but I've seen him demonstrate it to so many people again and again and again. And we're here tonight to celebrate, in part that. And Levi cooks for us, he cleans for us, or he has cleaned for us, not all the time. He has cleaned up after us many occasions. He's handled bills, he's organized trips, he's organized sports teams, he's given us buzz cuts and fades and assists. He's given us assists and putouts, and he's wired us $300 when we forgot to bring our wallet on a bus to Boston. He's literally pulled us out of a rubbish fire in the middle of Tompkins Square, and taken us back to his apartment and mended the wounds by candlelight. That was me. And I've never gotten a chance to thank him, so in public at least. So where am I now?
Blackout.
Keep going.
Tough girl.
Bear with me. Oh yeah. All right. So I don't know if Levi's parents and Micah knew this, had this premonition about Levi, about how kind of rock solid of a guy he was, of a friend he was, of a family member he was. But it seems fitting to me that they nicknamed him as a baby Loaf. Loaf, right? It's fitting. It's homemade. It's everything in one package.
You carry them like a bread loaf. Perfect size.
That's where it comes from.
Levi loaf.
Everything in one package. It's a lot of calories at once. What else? It's all about love and hospitality. It's all substance and no frills. It also speaks to one of Levi's favorite lines from The Simpsons. Anyone know it? He said it last night, actually. You know it?
Don't make friends with Sal.
Yeah, you don't make friends with salad. You don't make friends with salad.
You know,
One
wait.
time I went to a potluck and I brought a salad, and Levi came with like 2 large pots of paella with like shrimp. And he worked all day on shrimp and sausage, and he looked at me like I was the stupidest person on earth. Man, you don't win friends with salad. I'm also convinced, and Kiwe spoke to this a little bit the first night they met. And I don't know if you know this specific story, but I'm convinced that if Shonna knew this, if she saw these qualities in Levi when he made that long walk across this like fateful New Year's Eve party and asked for her hand and dance, she would not have turned him down. She turned him down. Did you guys know that? She turned him down and she said, "My feet are killing me in these boots." Were they cowboy boots?
They were Calvin Klein.
Calvin boots.
They were painful but damn good looking.
They were good looking, and they were painful, and she turned him down. She said, "My boots are killing me. Sorry, man. I'm not dancing with you." And you know, Levi's response was to ask if he could help her take off her boots. Now, I'm not joking. She said yes. He gets down on his knees and takes off her shoes, and they dance the night away. So I've heard a lot of relationship genesis stories, but this is like by far it takes the cake, right? Boy asks girl to dance, girl says no, boy listens to her suffering, empathizes with it, creates a solution. Girl says, "Okay, I'll dance," and they dance the rest of their lives away, right? And you know, I think this speaks to both Levi's bravery in this situation and a sense of humor, and I also think it speaks to both, you know, their partnership and the spontaneity and joy that they have, and the bravery to do that, like in the middle of a party. I think is pretty hysterical and pretty awesome, right? And not long after that, I got invited over to Levi's for dinner, and I met Shonna. Well, I met Shonna at that party, but I had vague recollections of it because it was New Year's party. But I went over to dinner, and that's you know, the first kind of dinner at 338 that I had with Levi and Shonna. And I kind of, you know, if Levi handles the cooking in these situations, Shonna handles the conversation. She's in charge of the conversation usually, as she should be. She's got probably more college degrees than everyone else here combined. And I've learned so much from these conversations with Shonna about her, about New York City politics, about compassion, about various forms of spirituality, about myself, about the world. And I'm really thankful for that. And you know, I think like Shonna is not afraid. I mean, she's a great listener. Wonderful listener, amazing listener. But she's also not afraid to call you out on your bullshit. And she's called me out on my bullshit a lot, and I really appreciate it. I'm sure she's called Levi out on his bullshit all the time. But she's not afraid to dawn someone else's perspective, and it's an inconvenient perspective often that she'll dawn. Not afraid to speak for voices that don't speak often. And I think this is what led her into PR. You know, for nonprofit organizations, it led her into journalism, it led her into nursing today. And today, if you have a conversation with Shonna, she's often more likely to talk about like bile and bed wounds than like the social injustice of unemployment or the prison system. But I think, you know, this one-on-one compassion that she has, and this kind of focus on social justice is obviously part of her approach to nursing. And I think Lenox Hill is about to get an amazing, unorthodox, compassionate. Bear with me, I got like just a few more note cards. All right, so Shonna goes down to nursing school 2 years ago. She enters an accelerated program. And somehow Levi and Shonna's relationship through this through the kind of stress of school and long distance relationship, it becomes all the more stronger over the last 2 years, and I think a lot of people have witnessed that. It also withstood the insanity of a 3,500 mile bike ride and 4-month long bike trip across the United States. And so a few weeks ago I was having dinner with Levi and Shonna, and I said, Lee, when you finished that trip, when you got to the Pacific Ocean, what were you thinking? And he looked at Shonna, he looked at me, and he said, I was thinking that I was going to go back to the East Coast and propose to Shonna. And I was expecting some philosophical treatise on a man and a bike and a dog and America, and that's what he was thinking when he finished. So I think that speaks volumes. And so here we are, 8 years later. Levi gets down on his knee once again. Shonna says yes again, and we'll dance the night away once again in honor of that. To Levi and Shonna, may their relationship be as close and intimate as that tiny apartment on East 15th Street, and as expansive and unpredictable as the road from here to the Pacific Ocean.